Hi guys, it's Emily from Novell Novels and welcome to today's video. This is my November TBR. Now I do know that Non-Fiction November is happening and I will link one of the hosts down below because I know her channel. I've not watched the announcement, I'm not putting pressure on myself. All I know is that I have got a couple of, at least about 2 or 3 non-fiction books planned, which I'll mention down below. I'm taking it very easy in November because obviously October was so busy with Victober and I really want to be a bit more mood reading. Although I saved mood reading and I've still got a TBR of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 books. I thought it was 18. About 17 or 18 books. So that's quite big again, as you would have well told by the thumbnail. I've done it. But I know that I can realistically do all that. And apart from 2 buddy reads, I can literally read them whenever I want. And that is really what I wanted this for November. It's not like a stressful month because of the fact, but it's the in-between month because obviously December we've got obviously Christmas and it's going to be insane. I've got extra videos planned for December. So you may, not every week, but you may well be getting 3 videos some of the weeks because I've got a big load of content and December is purely going to be a lot of Christmas books and a lot of end of year books. Just to give you a heads up, we have in November, I've got some video. I like giving you like some hints about the next month's videos. So I'm going to be doing obviously the end of year tag. Finally, my end of year tag, I think I might be swapping it over actually. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to swap the date of that because I think if I don't do that, I can put the end of year tag at the start of the month. We've got the books for the winter coming up, so I'll be telling you the books that I'll be reading in the winter. I've got my Dickens project announcement that I'm going to be just sharing with you. I've got some quite good fun things planned for November, but I'm not going to try, like I said, I want to try and keep November quite chilled because December's going to be insane. So, enough rambling. I've only got 2 buddy reads for definite planned. 2 books I wasn't sure about whether I'm buddy reading with them or not, but people haven't got back to me, so I'm not 100% sure, so I'm not going to link them, but there's 2 books for definite. First one is kind of a Victober book that's kind of carrying on, as in I'm reading it in Middlemarch by George Eliot. Excuse me. So I was supposed to read this originally in October, but because Victober is so massive and so many classics, I thought I would save this one for later, for November. I'm going to read this over the whole course of the month with the lovely Tori from Hufflepuff Discovery. No, Good Words. Read Good Words. I will link her channel down below. I'm sorry, I've forgotten her. She used to be Hufflepuff Discovery, but now she is something else. But I will link it down below. But Tori is amazing. This is about nearly 800 pages, so I think that's basically like 200 pages a week, which is doable. But it's definitely good to be reading over the whole month. Middlemarch is a book that has had mixed reviews over BookTube. It's a complex tale of idealism, disillusion, profanity, loyalty and frustrated love. I don't know too much more, and it's told by the lives of Dorothea Brooke and Tertius Lidcaine. And it has other Peregrine characters. I don't know any more than that. I'm actually enjoying Middle and Floss a bit more in the second half, so I'm hoping I like this. So fingers crossed I'll like this. Now, a book that has, I thought it was a thriller, but I've been told it's more of like a life book, and that is more like a family saga, and that is After the End by Claire Mackintosh. All of the other Claire Mackintosh books I've read have been thrillers. I'm reading this with Gemma, who was previously Reader Book Gem, and this is basically about Pip and Max are the strongest couple you know. Only now they're facing the most important decision of their lives, and they don't agree. With the consequences of an impossible choice threatening to devastate them both, nothing will ever be the same again. It's kind of my thriller / not thriller for the month. I don't want to put, considering the some of the spookier books I've got ahead of me. Don't know when I'm reading it in that month, but I like the fact that it's not too long. It's only about 370 pages. Claire Mackintosh has not let me down yet, so I'm happy with that. There's the 2 books I'd have to write down. Then before I do my TBR jar, I nearly forgot this book. This is like, you can laugh at me. I'm a one of the Tudor hosts. And this is our next book, which we're reading over November and December. And this is about Anne of Cleves. Now, I will give you all a heads up for those of you that are doing this read along. This one is more fictional rather than non-fictional, because we don't actually know that much about Anne of Cleves. It's probably one of the shorter books, so it is only 485 pages, so nice and easy to read over 2 months. Not going to put any pressure. I really enjoyed this the first time I read this, so I've got high hopes for it to reread. Sorry guys, I'm still full of cold. But basically, we all know with Anne of Cleves that the king is in love with a portrait, but the real Anna does not enchant him. She must win him over. This is her story. Really enjoyed this. Looking forward to the Tudor along. Just to let you guys know in advance, we are doing, the next live is going to be on Gemma's channel from Gemma Books, and it will be at the start of November, and that will be where we'll talk about Jane Seymour. So I'll give you the exact dates and announce it on my channel. I'll announce it soon, but yeah, coming up soon. But I really am looking forward to this. So now for the TBR jar. We've got a choice of 3 books. The next one, I will have a choice of 2, and the one that is left over will carry on to next year's TBR jar, because I'm doing the TBR jar again next year. It's one thing I'm loving doing. So we're going to have a choice of Blackbird, In the Dark Wood, which is a thriller, and The Stars Were Shining Brightly. So let's see what the TBR jar does and see if it's nice. I did like Up West, which was last month's pick. So let's see what the TBR jar is doing for me today. I picked one, so okay. I'm kind of hoping I did pick the right one. Typical. I got a thriller, so I will be reading a thriller anyway this month, so it doesn't matter. I got the book that is going to scare me, a spooky book. I got a book. I got In the Dark Wood, In the Dark Wood by Ruth Ware. Ruth Ware has been really hit and miss for me. I love Turn of the Key. Some of her other thrillers haven't been as good. Nora hasn't seen Claire for 10 years, not since the day that Nora walked out on her old life and never looked back, until out of the blue an invitation to Claire's hen party arrives. A weekend in a remote cottage is the perfect opportunity for Nora to reconnect with her best friend and put the past behind her. But something goes wrong, very wrong. Okay, so at least I know for December I won't have a scary book. I'll either have Blackbird or Stars Are Shining Brightly. But yeah, I'm going to put that note down because I've not written any more notes. I'm not as organised. But those are the books that have been set. And now for the books that I know a bit about, some of them I don't. So first of all, I'm going to show you the 2 books that are part of like series alongs or things like that I'm doing. First one is the Page Tune book for the month, because obviously we're reading all of Page Tune's backlist books. God knows what I'm going to do when I finish all this. It's going to be really weird when I've like read all her books. This is a reread, obviously. Page Tune is always a reread. But this is quite a good one. I don't think I read this too long ago. One day, maybe 5 years from now, you'll look back and understand why this happened. Nell and Van meet as children when their parents fall in love, but they are soon forced worlds apart. 5 years later, they find each other. Their bond is rekindled and new feelings take hold. But once again, they must separate. For the next 2 decades, fate brings Nell and Van together every 5 years as life and circumstances continue to divide them. Will they ever find true happiness and be together? Love Page Tune books. This one apparently has got a bit of a heartbreaking twist. So, God knows how I'm going to do with this. I cannot remember. Let's have a look. Okay, so this one's a very short one. It's one of her shorter ones, 300 pages. So, I know I'll love it. Just 5 stars. It's like 5 stars prediction. And then this is the penultimate book in this series. And this is Nightingale Wedding Bells. So we've got one more to read. This is literally set... Oh, this is like a prequel-y kind of one. So this, in order, I've got one more. This is actually set in East London in 1917. War rages on, but Nightingale nurses wedding bells ring. So this is going to be completely different characters. Anna is over the moon when sweetheart Edward returns from the front line. So this is like before the other ones. And then she's got caring for a shell-shocked nurses brings untold challenges for Grace, and her parents have different dreams. Meanwhile, Dulcie has her sights firmly set on her own happy family ending. Ooh. Didn't know much about this, so I'm really looking forward to that. Then I've got my spooky book for the month. A Corset by Laura Purcell. This is going to be read at the start of the month because it's like spooky season. So I love The Silent Companions, but it scared the crap out of me. I will definitely be reading this at the start because it will be one I'll have to read in the morning, not in the evening. Victim or Villain, Mad or Murderer, the corset. And I think it's one of her most recent ones. Here we go. Dorothea and Ruth, prison visitor and prisoner, powerful and powerless. Dorothea True Love is young, wealthy and beautiful. Ruth Veteran is young, poor and awaiting trial for murder. And then when Dorothea's charitable work leads her to Oakgate Prison, she's delighted to have the chance to explore her fascination with phenology and test her hypothesis that the shape of someone's skull can cast a light on their darkest crimes. But when she meets teenage seamstress Ruth, she is faced with another theory. Is it possible to kill with a needle and thread? Oh my God, this sounds like it's going to scare the crap out of me. But it's a beautiful edition. Look at that, peacock feathers. Just love it. It's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. But I think it's going to scare the crap out of me. It's not too long. It's not too long, not too short. But it's definitely going to scare me. Then I've got the last in a series that's going to kill me. And this is the last in the Island series. And this is Jenny Colgan's An Island Wedding. I bought this full price because I've loved all the books in this series. And it's not very often I buy a book in hardback, but look at that, Nate. Look at that spine. Look how gorgeous this is. And it is definitely the last in the series because Jenny Colgan has told us that. And this is Olivia and Anthony are planning the very extravagant wedding at the newest hotel on the tiny Scottish island of Muir. They're flying in chefs, musicians, and something called a living flower wall. And nothing is allowed to think of the word Bridezilla. But then you've got Flora, who is like a character that's been in every book. And she is trying and failing not to let Olivia and Anthony's wedding distract her from planning her own big day with Joel. Oh my God, I've loved this. The couple have wildly different ideas about how to celebrate, and yet somehow, when their relationship should be plain sailing, everything suddenly feels hard indeed. And then there's Lorna and Scythe, the local headmistress and the GP, are desperately trying to keep their relationship a secret to protect his sons. But while they're looking out for the boys, who is looking out for them? Will they get their happy ever after? Can't bloody wait. Yeah, I'm well excited by that. I don't know how whether that one's going to be like read at the start because I'm so excited, or saved for the second half, because you know what I'm like with second halves. And then we've got a book that's a bit of a mystery to me. Gemma gave it to me. When you fake it for a living, the truth is hard to find. Let's pretend. I don't know why this book drew me in, but it did. It's one I don't know anything about. Like I said, Gemma gave it to me. Gemma previously read a book. Gemma gave it to me. Why do I keep saying that? Right, so it's about, this is how all relationships start. First an audition, then a performance. Former child star Lily Thane is now a struggling 30-something actress. Her old stage show buddy, Adam Harker, is on the brink of making it big, but he needs an appropriate red carpet companion to steal the carpet, and Lucy fits the bill. Oh, something like that. But we've got a bit at the end that says, when Adam wakes up dead in the swimming pool, Lily is the only person who cares enough to find out why. She's convinced someone is out to get Adam, and now they're after her. So could this be another thriller? What have I let myself in for, guys? But it's short and sweet, only just over 300 pages. I'm hoping I like it. Now for another book that's going to kill me emotionally, but it's one that I got given this for Christmas by my mum, and I don't know why I've waited for nearly a whole year to read it, but I thought, she got it for me for Christmas, I've got to read it. And this is Three Sisters by Heather Morris. It's now out in paperback, so why on earth? I got it in hardback, and yet it's now out in paperback. Because I waited too long. I've had it on my shelf too long. And basically, the Tertiary Outfits was one of my favourite books. I love Silka's Journey. I've got all of them. I've got both those. And I also, she's got another book that I haven't got, which is like short stories. But it's got the word Three Sisters. Obviously, I'm one of three sisters. And it's Auschwitz, it's going to kill me. It's just like, I want you to make a promise that you will always take care of your sisters, that you will always be there for one another, that you will not allow anyone to take you away from each other ever. Do you understand? When they're little girls, Sibby, Magda and Livia have made a promise to their father that they will stay together no matter what. Years later, at 15, Livia is ordered to Auschwitz by the Nazis. Sibby, only 19 herself, remembers their promise and follows Livia. determined to protect her sister or die with her. Together they fight to survive through the unimaginable cruelty and hardship. Magda, only 17, stays with her mother and grandmother, hiding out in her auntie's attic or in the forest where the Nazis' militia come to round up friends, families and neighbours. She escapes for a time, but eventually she too is captured and transported to the death camp. At Auschwitz-Birkenau, the three sisters are reunited, and remembering the promise to their father, they make a new promise, this time to each other. They will survive. This is going to flipping break me. I don't know which is one's more scary. And again, look at the blooming naked hardback. Look at that. I don't know. I'm reading this kind of in honour of Non-Fiction November and the fact that at the end of at some point in November, we've got a bit where we remember it's Poppy Day here. And I know it's to do with the First World War, but I believe it to sort of celebrate all the people that fought in the war. So because it's a wartime book, even though it's set in Germany, I kind of want to read it for that. It's big. It's like, yeah, it's over 400 pages. It's going to probably break me, but I have something about it that really is drawing me in. I don't know if it's a sister's idea or what, but as you can hear when I was like talking about it just then, I'm one of three sisters, and my dad, I promised my dad that I would be there for my two sisters before he died. And actually, I remember Chris making the promise to look after all of us. And for me, that alone, like I would do anything for my sisters. They're my world. You know that. And if we were in that situation, we would totally be fighting for each other. So that's why this book is going to kill me, but it's also one that I'm really desperate for. But now, on a happier note, God, this video is going to be long. Defend the Dawn by Bridget Kemner. Oh my God, it's her newest book. It's one I'm going to read straight away. It's the second in the trilogy, because she's got a third one that's going to come out in the Defy the Night trilogy. I do not need to, this is one, another one. It's like, I've got certain books that I just don't know which order I'm going to read them in, because I don't know whether to save this one for the second half or read it straight away, because it's just one I'm super, super excited about. And this we're going back to King Harriston and Prince Corrick, and we've got Tessa Cade is back, and she's gone from masked outlaw to People Palace advisor. And I don't want to tell you anymore because it like spoils Defy the Night, but this is like why I fancy it at this fest. I love Bridget Kemner's books. She is literally a go-to author, and I cannot flipping wait for this. So yeah, don't need to say any more than that. Then we've got Still Life by Sarah Winman, which my sister Charlie bought me for my birthday. It's one that's again had very mixed reviews. I loved some of this author's works, and I've not loved others. So when Tin Man I loved, When God Was a Rabbit I loved, Years of Marvelous Ways I thought was okay, but this one has had real mixed reviews because it's historical fiction, so it's set in wartime in Italy. As bombs fall around them, two strangers meet in a ruined wine cellar of a Tuscan villa and share an extraordinary evening. Ulysses Temper is a young British soldier. Evelyn Skinner is a 64-year-old art historian living her life on her own terms. She has to come to salvage paintings from the wreckages of war and relive memories of her own youth. This looks really good. I'm really looking forward to it, but I know it has had mixed reviews, so I'm slightly nervous. Then my first of my non-fiction book is one that had to get read in November, and it's Dear Reader by Kathy Rensebrooke. It is one of Alice from Alice's Giant Bookshelf's favourite books. She got it for me for my birthday, even though we got a gift note that wasn't matched with hers. And it's about reading has saved my life again and again and held my hand through every difficult time. As long as she can remember, Kathy Rensebrooke has lost and found herself in stories. I don't know anymore. It's a short book, but it's one I could not wait for. It's a book about books. It's just, thank you, Alice. I will link Alice's channel down below. And then we've got a non-fiction book that I'm really looking forward to, and that's Alison Weir's Queen of the Conquest. Charlie from Charles Heathcote gave me this years ago, about a year or so ago. And this is the story of 5 extraordinary queens who helped the Norman kings of England rule their dominions. So we've got Matilda of Flanders, who supported William the Conqueror in his invasion of England in 1066. And we've got other queens. I don't know exactly which ones. It doesn't say all of them. I wonder if it'll say all of them in here. But it's one of her non-fiction books. And we've got, we've got Matilda of Flanders, Matilda of Scotland, Adele Zilla of Louvain, Matilda of Boulogne, and the Empress Maud. So I don't know any more than that. The only problem I'm going to have with this is the print is quite small. So it's quite a... But it's got like the maps and it's got all the people and it's got pictures and yeah, it looks really good. Now another one I'll be starting the month with, and that's The Manningtree Witches by A.K. Blackmore. I think Katie from Books and Things has read this and liked it. I know Charlie from Charles Heathcote's got it and I don't know if he's read it yet. And it's basically set in England in 1643. Puritanical fever has gripped the nation. In Manningtree, depleted of men since the Civil War began, the women are left to their own devices, and Rebecca West chafes against the drudgery of her days. So again, this will be read earlier in the month. I don't know whether I'm going to read this before or after the corset, because they both look scary. So kind of let me know which one do I read, because this one's really short, but I'm nervous. And I love it when this happens, a postcard that was left in the book. So I'm actually going to put that somewhere. I don't know where that's going to go, but that might go somewhere. On a completely different note, I've had to change my plans for the month because I've had to promote a book. There's going to be a book in that I'm going to read at the end of October, which is Heidi Swain's, one of the earlier books in this series. But to get, just to let you know, in December, obviously, I've got Heidi Swain's newest book coming out, but it's the last of a very long series. So because I want to make sure that I read it once I've read all the other books, I am now crash banging through all her other Christmas books, and I was going to like save them and read them over the month, but no. So I'm going to read the book that Charlie from Charles Heathcote got me at the end of this month, at the end of October, and then the plan is to read this one for definite, Sleigh Rides and Silver Bells in the Christmas Fair. I've not read this one yet. And I've got the Christmas Wish, which is not on my physical TBR because it's not a definite, but I'm hoping to get that one read. And that way I'll be then up to date to read Heidi Swain's latest book in December, because I've also in December got her other book that she released last year that was a Christmas book that Gemma gave me. So yeah, so I will be definitely reading this one, and I'll probably read The Christmas Wish by Heidi Swain. So you'll see that at some point. When Anna takes up the role of companion of the owner of Winthrop Hall at the outskirts of Wimbridge, she has no idea that her life is about to change beyond recognition. A confirmed bar humbug when it comes to Christmas, Anna is amazed to find herself quickly immersed in the eccentric household. And when the youngest son, Jamie, arrives unexpectedly home, it becomes obvious that her personal feelings are going all out to compromise her professional persona. I've not read this series in order, but like I said, I want to get this series completed before I read the last in the series. So definitely reading that one. And I'll probably read The Christmas Wish, but I don't know much about that. And then a book that Jack from Spread Your Book Joy gave me for Christmas, for my birthday. And it is, again, perfect for spooky Halloweeny season. So it will be read earlier. I think, even though this is spooky, I think because it's middle grade, I might read this in the evenings. What do you reckon? I don't know. Do you reckon I could cope with it? Aveline loves reading ghost stories, so her dreary half-term becomes more exciting when she discovers a spooky old book. I believe I've got the second one in the series that she's got me upstairs, so hoping this is the first. Didn't double check. Not only is the stories spine-tingling, but they belong to a girl called Primrose Peabody, who vanished mysteriously, never to be seen again. Intrigued, Aveline decides to investigate Primrose's disappearance with some help of her new friend Harold. Now, someone or something is stirring, and it's looking for Aveline. Am I going to be able to cope with this? Am I going to be a giant wimp? And then last but not least, a book that I want to get to because I want to get it over and done with. And it's The Last in the Ink Death series. I'm putting this on the TBR because I bought it, but I've heard so many bad things about it. It's the longest book on this. It is nearly 700 pages. It is pretty much 700 pages. But I can't not complete this trilogy. So I don't know when I'm going to read it. It's spooky, scary, witchy, don't know what to do about it, but it's good. So I'm hoping I'm going to like it. Let me know. So Let me know, guys, down below, which books should I prioritise and read at the start of the month? Which ones should I save for the end of the month? I would love your advice, guys, because I really don't know where to start. All those books are books I'm excited about. I can't wait. I've got the best TBR plan, considering it's been a real mishmash. I'm really hoping that November's going to smash it out of the park and I might get some new favourites. But let me know down below. Yep, like I said, which books do I start off with? Which books do I prioritise? If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, not subscribed yet, ring on my ding-a-ling. And I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.